What is up, you guys? Just got out of the shower, literally, and we gotta talk. In case you didn't know, if you are a woman and you are voting Republican, you're not really a woman. You hate yourself. You hate yourself. And if you're a man voting for Donald Trump, you're only voting for him because you have rage issues. But the Democrats, they have an answer. Oh, they have an answer. Their answer is if you are a female and you are married to a male, just lie to them. Tell them what they want to hear and then vote for Kamala Harris. Today we're going to get into this issue that we're having in the Democrat Party where they literally are trying to convince women that you don't really know what's best for you. So just listen to us. Let us guide you on how to vote. And again, lie to your husbands. So I want you guys to take a look at this ad that the Democrats put out with Julia Roberts, a Hollywood celebrity, narrating. And this is how they believe wives should be voting and how they should be approaching their husbands when it comes to voting. Watch this.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose, you can vote any way you want. And no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls. Vote Common Good is responsible for the contents of this ad.
I'm sorry, but is that not the most condescending ad you've ever seen in your entire life? So you have Julia Roberts talking to the average woman voter who's married to a man in a traditional home, so they're supposed to be Republicans, of course, right? Because Republican women are just dumb. And you have the wives telling their husbands, oh, honey, don't worry, I'm going to vote exactly how you want me to vote. I'm going to do it. Then, of course, she goes in, votes for Kamala Harris, comes out. Her husband, her country husband says, did you do it? Did you do it, girl? And she's like, yes, honey, I did it. And then they hug. And then she has eye contact with another woman who's giving her the eye of, I know, girl, don't worry. So in other words, Republican women are afraid of their husbands. Republican women can't make decisions for themselves. Republican women can't possibly have done their own research to realize that they don't want to vote for Kamala Harris for a litany of reasons. They aren't issue voters. Of course not. They're just poor, uneducated, country white women who don't know what to do, who follow their husband's lead, and don't have minds of their own. They're still living in 1955. And so liberals and Democrats have to liberate them by telling them, it's okay, you don't have to vote the way your husband wants you to vote. You can be free, and nobody has to know. You know what's funny? The party of inclusion, the party of women's rights, the party of progress still has this idea that women who choose to be pro-life, that women who choose to be conservative, that women who choose to have a traditional family, that they aren't really choosing that. They're in prison. And so it's up to liberals to free them and talk down to them like they are imbeciles. Now, I thought the feminist movement was all about choice. If a woman chooses to not get married, not have any children, and be a liberal, that's her choice. And if a woman chooses to live in a traditional household, who wants to be a stay-at-home mom, who believes in traditional values, that's also her choice. But it seems like you only have a choice and you're only celebrated for that choice when it's a liberal choice. If it's not a liberal choice, then you need to be set free. So I'm sorry, ladies. If you are Republican, if you are thinking about voting for Donald Trump, you're in prison. I'm so sorry. But you can free yourself. You can free yourself. Just vote for Kamala Harris. Oh, but it gets worse. It gets worse. So Michelle Obama recently was at a rally for, of course, Mama Kamala, and decided to say this regarding men and their wives. I made a short about it. I'm going to show it to you guys right now. Watch this. This is Michelle Obama's tone-deaf speech to men who are not voting for Kamala. Listen to this.
But to anyone out there thinking about sitting out this election or voting for Donald Trump because you're fed up, let me warn you, your rage does not exist in a vacuum.
Yes, because the only reason you're voting for Trump is because you have rage issues.
We as women will become collateral damage to your rage.
Oh, now they get to find what a woman is when it's convenient.
You supported this assault on our safety. We are more than just baby-making vessels.
Oh, trust, we know exactly how your party honors the unborn.
Kamala will veto any abortion ban. Kamala will expand access to birth control and abortion pills. To the women listening, just remember that your vote is a private matter.
Translation, feel free to lie and deceive your husbands. I have a question. Michelle, why is it that liberals believe that the main issue that every woman has is abortion? Because all I hear about when it comes to the campaign rally with Kamala Harris is abortion, 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 reproductive freedoms, and being able to abort your babies. Like, that's the most important thing in the world. Most important thing. As if pro-life women don't exist. Oh, I'm sorry. If you're pro-life and you're a woman, you're in jail. You're in prison. You don't realize it. You need to be set free. My bad. And then for Michelle Obama to literally come out her mouth and say that men who are voting for Donald Trump, remember that your rage is not in a vacuum. So male voters are now only voting for Donald Trump because they hate women, they hate Kamala Harris, and they have rage, according to Michelle Obama. Let's paint that broad brush to all these men and say, here you go. I have the key to set you free. Let me tell you why that's a stupid perspective to have. Number one, you are assuming that once again, these men who are voting for Donald Trump are not educated. These men haven't done their own research. These men aren't issue-based voters. These men aren't voting for their wives and their children and their families and the betterment of their families. See, Michelle Obama's perspective is if you are a man voting for Donald Trump, then you are disregarding your mother, your sisters, your wives, your daughters. You pretty much hate every woman in your life because you're voting for Donald Trump. And Donald Trump supposedly hates women. And Kamala Harris is going to set women free. That type of talking point doesn't really land because unfortunately for you, Michelle Obama, and every other Democrat, people aren't stupid. People aren't drinking the Kool-Aid. People are critical thinkers. And they're also educated, more educated than you think. It's the same thing that they do with people of color like myself, where they tell us that if we don't hate Donald Trump, then we are sellouts. Now you have Fat Joe saying that Puerto Ricans who still are voting for Donald Trump, i.e. me, are just trying to be white.
And when I post on my Instagram, these the guys you're voting for, and I see Puerto Ricans saying, no, we're still for Trump. That's the house mentality, yeah. That's a Latino that wish he was white.
House and words. His words, not mine. And we see that across the board when it comes to any ethnicity that isn't white. If you don't vote for Democrats, then you are a sellout. You are a coon. You're dancing for the master. I mean, that's your perspective, right? Let's forget that it's possible that these non-white voters are issue-based voters, have done their own research, and have come to their own conclusions about who they want to vote for. See, Democrats would tell you being a voter is a right. You have the right to vote for whoever you want to vote for. It's your freedom. Practice your freedom. We will respect it. Unless you vote for who we don't like, then you're a traitor. Then you hate women. Then you hate yourself. But no worries because Kamala Harris has been on the campaign trail, especially this last week, bringing out the big guns, the people who are going to turn this country around, the people like Usher and Lizzo and J-Lo and Bad Bunny, Megan Thee Stallion, and Cardi B, of course. Yeah. Good old Cardi B. The same woman who got accused just about a year ago of drugging men when she was still a stripper, drugging them and robbing them after drugging them, and then leaving the hotel rooms. She got caught doing that. Editing Chuck here. Almost forgot. She also hated the Biden administration. Just last year, she was putting it on blast for how horrible it was and what a betrayal his administration was, which, by the way, Harris is also a part of. Ain't that funny? And yet you have her on the stage attempting to talk, which, by the way, was a joke because her teleprompter went out. She was like, hold on one second.
1 second, guys, 1 second. Okay, so I don't take lightly the call. Sorry, guys, I'm a little nervous. Guys. I've been waiting for this moment this whole life, my whole life. I need patience over here. Patience, where are you, girl? I need patience over here.
Now, if I'm talking from the heart and I truly believe in a candidate, I don't need a teleprompter. I really don't, because I know what I want to say. That means if the teleprompter goes out, I can still continue to talk until the teleprompter comes back on. But I know what I want to say because it's coming from the heart, from the soul. But when you are a robot and you're being told what to say, and you're being paid what to say, and the teleprompter goes out, uh-oh. And that's what we saw from Cardi B's speech. The irony of that whole speech is that here you have a woman who once again was a predator who used to drug men and steal their money. And Kamala Harris is perfectly fine with that. But the Democrats lose their mind over Tony Hinchcliffe, a comedian who made a joke that didn't land really well. And all of a sudden, the world ends. And Donald Trump is guilty by association. It's funny how the guilt by association only works for Donald Trump and not for Kamala Harris. Not for her. She can have a predator on her stage who can barely speak English talking to the people, right, who has a history of being an abuser, perfectly fine. Has nothing to do with Kamala Harris. No stain on her. But Donald Trump has Tony Hinchcliffe, and Donald Trump suddenly hates Puerto Ricans, hates Latin people, and thinks we're all garbage because of a joke. Not a statement, a joke. That makes sense. You guys, we only have 2 days left. 2 days left before the election. Right now I'm filming this on a Sunday, so we only have 2 days left because Tuesday is coming up really, really soon. And it's going to be a tight race, unfortunately. It shouldn't be a tight race because if people were smart and they saw what was happening with the last 4 years, why would you even contemplate repeating the last 4 years if you're not happy? But the Democrats are really good at false advertisement, at falsehoods, at getting people to vote based on emotions and not facts. They're good at that. I'll give them that. So it's going to be a tight race. It's going to be a very tight race. One good thing, though, that's looking up is that early voting has already broken records, and Republicans have already exceeded that record from 2020, which means that more Republicans are voting, or more people voting for Donald Trump are voting than they did in 2020, at least early, which is a good sign because it means that Donald Trump may have a chance of getting even more votes this time around, and who knows what could happen. I'm not going to sit here and say he has it in the bag because he doesn't have it in the bag. I mean, it's going to be anyone's race right now. It's very close. It's tight. It's going to come down to swing states. Michigan, we're waiting. Pennsylvania, we're waiting. North Carolina. You know, there are key states that are going to be extremely crucial in this race. So I'm nervous. I am. Because I don't think we can survive another 4 years of a Harris administration. We know what she's bringing forth. We know what she represents. And again, if you've been struggling the last 4 years, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're going to be struggling even more if she gets into office. I mean, Sunny Hostin asked her on The View, what would you do different from Biden? What mistakes did he make that you wouldn't do? And she said, I can't think of anything.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Can't think of anything. I can think of a few, but I'm not running for president. All I can say is, guys, if you haven't voted yet, get out there and vote. Make sure you vote. Be smart about it. Do your research. I'm not going to tell you how to vote. I think you know exactly how I would vote if I were you, but that's a choice for you to make. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this video. How are you going to be voting if you have voted already, or are you planning to vote? What are you going to be doing, and what is your perspective and your opinions on this entire election season, and specifically on ads that tell you, if you are a woman, if you vote for Kamala Harris, keep it a secret, especially from your husbands. What are your thoughts about that? If you enjoy my content, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit my notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. Until next time, guys, pray.